Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Nurse Mark and the Green Nurse Daily Dose of AFA,
where we bring you hope and inspiration for growth and healing so you can start your day off the AFA way. And in case you have forgotten, we're here to remind you every single day. Mark, you wrote a book about it.
Well, listen, I wrote a book about it because you know what? We need to be reminded every single day. We only have today, and we got to start off every day with a recognition that we're absolutely fucking amazing exactly as we are. Don't need to change. Don't need to make yourself any better. There is no better. You are absolutely amazing just as you are.
Y'all, here it is. You ready?
Yeah.
You're born, y'all.
Yeah.
AFA. That's our
Y'all or AFA when you're born.
You're born, y'all. AFA. We're going to be talking about born, y'all later. I thought that was
Born,
kind of
y'all. And you know what? The world just throws shit on top of you for your whole life from other people, your parents, your grandparents, the people around you, experience you have. All this stuff gets thrown in there and you get programmed to think that you're not enough, that you're not absolutely amazing. And I'm telling you, you are. You're absolutely amazing, just like you were the day you were born. So, Sherry, here we are, February 23rd. Man, this month is ripping away.
Fast.
Here we go. 2021 is blowing through, but it's an amazing day today.
It is.
Terpene Tuesday, hugging a nug. We're going to start off with the daily love. I can't even do a heart. No, can't do it. Here it is, right here. Right here. All right. So started off this one. I read this, I've been reading these different, daily reading things for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, the ones that I've been using. And I add new stuff every couple of months, new resources. But this one I always come to and I'm reminded of it. And I'm like, oh my God, that's a great mantra. And it's called Bear Hugs Kettle. Ooh. And I actually have to read this one for you to really get it. So here we go. I'm gonna read you the one about Bear Hugs Kettle, and I'm gonna put my glasses on because
so when you say Bear Hugs Kettle, do you mean like kettle, like in kettle?
Like a hot, you're gonna find out. You're gonna find out right now. Ready? All right. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so there is an anecdote of the Far West that carries a wonderful lesson. It appears that a party of hunters being called away from the camp left the campfire unattended with a kettle of water boiling on it. And presently an old bear crept out of the woods and seeing the kettle with its lid dancing about on top, promptly seized it. The boiling water scalded him badly, but instead of dropping the kettle instantly, he proceeded to hug it tightly, this being the bear's idea of defense. Of course, the tighter he hugged it, the more it burned him, and the more it burned him, the tighter he hugged it, and so on in a vicious circle to the undoing of the bear. This illustrates perfectly the way in which many people hug their difficulties to their bosoms by constantly rehearsing them to themselves or others. Yes, whenever you catch yourself thinking about your grievances, say to yourself sternly, Bear Hugs Kettle. And think about God instead. You'll be surprised how quickly some long-standing wounds will heal.
Wow, that's really, really interesting. So interesting. Yeah. So when a moment, a situation, a thought comes up that feels icky or yucky, what are we doing? Are we hugging it close or are we letting it go?
Well, so think about it.
Because it's hot. You think about it. Kettles are hot, and generally all that emotion feels heated, right, and charged. And so we really, we don't want to keep it close to us anymore. It's time.
Well, it's what we do. People say, hey, how's it going? Yeah, it's going great. But, I hurt my shoulder the other day. Or, I've been dealing with this money thing. Or, we talk about what's going wrong in our lives, right? Somebody says, hey, how's it going? Oh, it's great. But, man, I'm really overworking. Or, we always find something to add in there. It's a but.
Yeah.
We don't need to do that. Just remember, Bear Hugs Kettle.
Bear Hugs Kettle. I'm human and I have human moments.
Totally.
And, and that's good. We just don't have to hug on to the ickiness.
Don't have to hold on to them, right? You can just let it go. Like you don't need to talk about it. I don't know about you, but I have definitely have people in my life, and I've been guilty of this, that whenever I have a conversation with them, it's a litany and a list of everything that's going wrong in their lives. Like it's the whole conversation ends up being that way. I've actually had people in my life that I had to back away from calling, and they're people that I love very much, but that constant conversation about all of the bad things in their life
It's a
pulls
brain
me in that
drain.
direction. You know what I mean? Because I'm human, and I start looking at the things in my life that aren't that I don't consider to be good. I mean, they just are what they are.
Right.
So yeah, they're holding on to them tightly,
And
and they
holding on
become
to,
them, right?
yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen it in my own life as well. You know,
Yeah,
the people that are hanging on to the stories because they need that story as their identity, right?
right,
Like,
right,
who would I be if I didn't carry that around with me anymore? You know?
exactly. So it's
And
really about changing that conversation, right? It's
Mhm.
like, and that's what that mantra is about. Bear hugs kettle is a reminder. So when I find myself talking to somebody else, when somebody asks me a question about how's it going, and I bring in that negative thing, if I remember bear hugs kettle,
Bear hugs kettle.
I can
Yeah.
stop in my tracks and say, okay, I'm not gonna own that now. That's not me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna turn that
exactly.
around and I'm gonna talk about something different. So
That's really good.
remember,
That's
bear
really
hugs
good.
kettle.
Bear hugs
Great
kettle. And I
mantra.
don't know about you, Mark, but
Yeah.
positivity, I mean, it's like there's the two sides of the coin,
Yeah.
two ways of looking at things. And we all have a choice. Do you want to sit on heads or do you want to sit on tails?
Mhm.
And it's
Yeah.
the whole coin and the polarity of good, bad, black,
Mhm.
white, love, hate, all of that is all on the same continuum. And so it's just basically about shifting perspective of what side are you sitting on? And you have a
Yes.
choice to flip that coin over at any
Right.
point in time. And let me just tell you, it
Mhm.
does make a difference. It can be really hard because we're going
Mhm.
through a lot of difficult things as humans. We're working through
Right.
change and transformation, and it doesn't need to be scary. This is what we're here to tell you. Mark and I have been through some, and you read his book.
Woo!
I've been
Oh
writing my
my
book the
god.
whole life. The
Just
book is you can't make this shit up.
you
That's the
can't.
name
You
of the book.
really can't. No, you can't.
And so, yeah, so we're here to share that wisdom with you, is that, you're absolutely fucking amazing just the way you are. We want to give you
Yeah.
these tidbits, these hugs and nugs of information so you
Yeah.
can change your perspective
You
and
can.
live
As
a
long as you
loving,
yeah.
full
Yes, a
life.
loving, powerful, amazing life. And you know
Yes.
what it takes? It takes a realization about the what so of being human, understanding what it's like to be human. And you said we have that positive and negative aspect. Well, evolutionarily, we're built to look at the negative side of things because
Mhm.
that's kept us alive for a long time.
Yes.
So our brains are still patterned in that way. But you know what? There aren't any tigers down at the water hole for me to get eaten by today in Florida, right? They're
Right.
not there anymore, right? But my
Right.
brain is still wired evolutionarily to be aware that there may be a tiger there. You know
Right.
what I mean? So
Yes,
turning that around and
totally.
understanding that that's what it's like to be human and being able to step out of that for a moment and turn on that positive outlook.
Yes.
So
Excellent.
here we
Excellent.
go.
What
Yeah.
is your health tool of the day before we get into tidbit hugs and nugs? What is your little health
Oh
tool of the day?
man, my health tool today is actually gonna be focus because I've had so much going on,
Mhm.
so many balls in the air that it's produced a lot of anxiety in my day-to-day life. And so today it's about focus, and I'm gonna focus on what's ahead of me right now and not
Yeah.
worry about all of the other things that are competing for my attention.
There
And
you
that
go.
will decrease my anxiety level, which, can kick up there because I'm human and
Yes.
we're
There you
wired.
go. You're human. That's good. That's
Yeah.
excellent.
How about
Focus.
you?
Well, I'm going to focus on my gut. So I'm going to focus on
Yeah.
probiotics, prebiotics, and micronutrients. Because, I don't know if I told you guys, but I had to go on antibiotics a couple weeks ago and it's not over with yet. And probiotics can wreak havoc with your microbiome. And I'm noticing it on multiple different levels,
Mhm.
not only with how I feel, but how I sleep
Mhm.
and even mental stuff. Because as we know, our
Yeah.
enteric nervous system, which is our digestive tract from our mouth to our
Mhm.
butts,
Mhm.
communicates with our central nervous system
Right.
via the endocannabinoid system. So the
Yeah.
healthier the gut, you figure, right? The healthier the gut,
Yep.
decrease inflammation, improve cognitive function, thinking clearly, less anxiety.
Mhm.
So my whole focus today is going to be really around the health of my gut, so I can stay on
Love
top of it. Yeah, because I know there's a lot of people that might be out there right now on antibiotics. I'm telling you right now, it is really, really important to pay attention to gut health.
Yeah.
Water, probiotics,
Yeah.
prebiotics.
And I was reading something the other day from a neurologist, and the comment was, your nervous system is just your brain spread out through your body. Like, we look at it as if they're all like separated things. It's all your brain. So the enteric nervous system is just your brain and your gut. And one of the things that really shocked me, and I think I talked about this before, was, serotonin, which is a really huge neurotransmitter that we try to treat in depression, is because there's not enough serotonin, they think, in the body. So they use, SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. In other words, it keeps the serotonin out in your cells in your body.
Circulating.
Most of it, I think 90% of the serotonin is produced in your body, your gut. It's produced in your gut, not in your brain. And that shocked me.
I didn't know that either. Wow, I just
Always
learned
felt
something new.
serotonin in the brain. It's all in your gut.
There you go, right?
Yeah.
Feed your gut for happy thoughts.
Yes, and it's all wrapped into the endocannabinoid system. It's the regulatory system for the neurotransmitters, including serotonin. And so your gut, Sherry, as you talked about, is hugely important. Gut health.
Yep.
Yeah.
So quick question too. So really quickly, so for people that may not know this, people have asked me, what are prebiotics? Well, prebiotics actually feed probiotics, and probiotics are that healthy, the
gut biome.
The gut biome. Yeah. So it's really interesting. And then including the micronutrients. So antibiotics can decrease, kill bacteria.
Right.
Not only do they kill bad bacteria, but they kill good bacteria. And the problem with killing the good bacteria is you have a lot of healthy bacteria in your gut.
Right.
So you want to make sure that as it's killing the bad bacteria in your body, that it's not destroying your microbiome in your gut, which is responsible for so many different things.
Isn't it wild to think that these little microorganisms, bacteria in your gut, are required for you to live? Like, you need to have them to live, and they need you to live. So that's a symbiotic relationship. You're like their universe. You are their world.
Oh, that was so important.
Yes. That just blows me away when I think about it.
Yeah.
Like, you are the universe. It's like Men in Black, it's like you open the locker and there's like, oh
yeah, exactly.
Those little space creatures. Yeah. Anyway, here we are. Terpene
Hugs and nugs.
Hugs and a nug. All right.
This was a really, really cool terpene that we have not explored yet. And so we're going to be going over Borneol.
Yeah.
Borneol. Borneol. Mark, what is Borneol?
Oh my gosh. Here we go. Chemistry 101. It's a bicyclic monoterpenoid found in high concentration in extracts of Valerinia officinalis that is used for sleep and to improve overall sense of well-being. Extracts of valerian are known to contain flavonoids, terpenoids, many of which are active at the GABA receptors, and we love GABA. So GABA is a naturally occurring amino acid that works as a neurotransmitter in your brain. Neurotransmitters are messengers. GABA is an inhibitory neurotransmitter because it blocks or inhibits certain brain signals and decreases activity in your central nervous system. So, Sherry, GABA is really the thing that we work with when we're talking about decreasing anxiety. Like benzodiazepines work on GABA. So there's GABA and glutamate. Those are the two neurotransmitters that are coupled together in this sort of anxiety and neurotransmitter system.
Right.
So here we are. This affects GABA.
GABA, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So Borneol, you ready from this? This is a really cool one. Is derived from, you ready?
Yeah.
Trihobelenops. Trihobelenops aromatica. It's a member of the teak family of trees. I totally didn't say that right. I completely butchered it, and I tried to practice it, but it was really hard to say. So I don't know if you can do a better job.
Trihobelenops. Yeah, it's aromatic.
There it goes. Trihobelenops aromatica. There you go. Trihobelenops aromatica. Everyone say it after me. Trihobelenops aromatica. So it's a member of the teak family of trees. And this terpene has historically been harvested by tapping the trunk of the tree, which is really cool. So
Mm,
today, most of Borneo is created through turpentine or camphor,
right.
and then it's ground down into a powder for medicinal use. The
Yeah.
part that's really cool about this is it can be found in nature and it can also be created synthetically. So
Yeah.
Mark,
So I was
where,
doing a little
yeah,
bit of reading, Sherry,
yeah.
before we got on this morning. And, there's, the bicyclic monoterpenes. And so
Mhm.
there's a lot of different terpenes based on the chemical combination of what they do. But I found, you mentioned that it's from teak wood, right? Well,
Mm.
I was looking and there's an anti-cancer drug, paclitaxel. It's known as Taxol. Okay. It's a chemotherapy drug. Well, that's a terpenoid too. And it's
Hmm.
derived from the Pacific yew tree, the bark. And
Wow.
so, terpenes, terpenoids, as we talk about every Tuesday, are found in nature everywhere in all of the plants. And you know what another terpenoid is? Natural rubber.
There you go.
Found everywhere. So here we are
Rubber?
talking about Borneo.
We're gonna burn some rubber?
We're going to burn some rubber. Yeah. So all these, they're derived from nature and we try to create them synthetically afterwards. And so
Right.
Borneo can be found in nature and created synthetically because
Yep.
after all, everything is just chemical in nature. So
Right. So it's
we
found
try
in
to combine
thyme,
it. Yep.
ginger,
Mhm,
rosemary,
mhm.
sage, camphor, marjoram, and mugwort.
Boom.
And what I found so interesting too is that it's the core in Chinese herbal medicine, right?
Mhm.
So they use it to facilitate digestion, improve circulation, and ease pain brought on by rheumatic diseases. So this is what
Mhm.
the Chinese have used it for a long time. They've used it to
Mhm.
treat bronchitis, coughs, colds, and many have said that it's bitter tasting.
Right,
So,
right.
and then it's been known to also decrease anxiety and stress.
Because it hits the GABA.
It's the
Yeah,
GABA, decreasing,
yeah.
inhibiting,
Uh-huh.
bringing that calming feeling. So also too, we talk about energy centers, meridians, right? So in
Mhm.
Chinese medicine, borneol is associated with the heart,
Mhm.
lungs, liver, and the spleen meridians or these energy centers in our body, which is really
Mm,
fascinating.
it
What does
is.
it smell like, Mark? What's the smell?
Well, it's woody, camphor-like aroma.
Yeah.
The scent is toxic to bugs, which, as we know, most terpenoids and terpenes in plants are used to ward off bugs and fungal infections and other diseases. It's pleasant to people, and the sensory experience has been described as walking through a forest of minty balsam fir trees.
Ooh, smells good to me. Smells
Yeah.
very refreshing. Smells
Mhm.
very refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing too, it's an active ingredient used in insect repellent, and it's been known to shield against mosquito-borne illnesses like the West Nile virus.
Mm.
Interesting thing too, which I discovered, is that they do make an oil called thyme borneol, and it's a therapeutic grade essential oil, and it's been used to stimulate the immune system, help aid in the digestive process, and
Mhm.
also helps with respiratory illnesses.
Yeah. So let's talk about the therapeutic benefits.
Yeah.
So, anti-inflammatory, as we find with a lot of these, right? And cannabinoids, of course, anti-inflammatory properties. But this particular terpene, in 2013, published in the Journal of Agriculture and Food Chemistry, cell culture models of gingivitis, Borneol was shown to reduce inflammation. And gingivitis can be a serious thing because your mouth health is directly correlated to your heart health. Like the
Mhm.
bacteria in your mouth can cause heart issues. So gingivitis can be a serious health issue. So it's great to know
It's great.
that if you use this medicated mouthwash, it'll ease conditions such as gingivitis and red gums and tonsillitis. What do we
Right.
got next, Sherry?
Topical pain reliever. So, one of the studies tested diluted thyme borneol
Mm,
oil, and it's been
mm,
known to soothe aching joints and muscles. And they
mm.
tested the pain relief outcomes and found that this topical borneol had significantly more favorable effects than a placebo.
Yeah,
So they actually did, tested the oil, did nothing,
yeah,
and there was more of a
mhm,
improvable,
mhm,
decreasing symptoms.
yeah.
I like this one too. Here's a really good one.
Oh, it can be an anticoagulant,
Yes.
blood thinner. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's used in Asia as a preventative treatment for cardiovascular disease. It's used to treat thrombosis and has the potential to reduce the risk of clots. And a 2014 study in rats found that ischemic stroke damage caused by reduced blood flow was reduced by Borneo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here's the big kicker of how I see this
Mhm.
terpene really being beneficial to so many different people, especially when it's combined with cannabis,
Mhm.
is how it helps absorb other substances. So right
Mhm.
now, Borneo is being investigated to help absorption of medicinal drugs, including those that treat cancer. And
Mhm.
so the other potential that it has is to help drugs cross the blood-brain barrier. That's
Yeah.
really powerful.
And it's an adaptogen. It reduces stress and fights fatigue at the same time. It leaves people relaxed yet not sedated.
Yeah, and it's an adaptogen. So we talk about cannabinoids are adaptogen. It helps us to adapt to outside stressors. So it
Right.
reduces stress and
Mhm.
fights fatigue at the same time, which leaves
Right.
people in a state of feeling relaxed but
I know.
not
It
sedated.
sounds familiar. I think,
Yes,
yeah.
sounds just like cannabis.
All
Yeah.
right. So
Studies.
a lot of studies. Mhm. Lay it on us, Sherry.
Okay, 17 total. We could be doing better, but that's pretty good for a terpene that, is
Yeah.
starting to evolve. Two double-blind placebo studies and
Yep.
one clinical human trial. So
Mhm.
Borneo has been shown proven effects in clinical human trials for generalized pain, middle
Mhm.
ear infection, stroke, and cerebral infarction. Really
Yeah.
interesting.
So what strains are high in Borneo? Okay, they tend to be hybrids. K13 haze, golden haze.
Haze, and more haze. There's a lot of haze
Mhm.
strains out there. So
A
I
lot of haze.
honestly, yeah. So I haven't seen, their I did a lot of digging and these were the main ones that came up.
Mhm.
But when some of the other literature had said that these Borneo terpenes are generally found more in hybrids,
Mhm.
sativa dominant. So
Mhm.
that's the information. Terpene
Hug
Tuesday,
and
strain
a nug.
a hug and a nug. So
Uh-huh.
really quickly, Mark, we got a couple of really cool things going on this week.
Oh, yeah.
Um, just going to plug all of our upcoming ventures. So tomorrow is
Right.
Wednesday. And
Mhm.
yeah, I know. Can you imagine? Tomorrow's Wednesday, and Nikki Lawley is going to be on In the Weeds Prohibition Talk Radio, which is
Mhm.
going to be awesome. She has a really amazing story. She's a
Yeah.
pediatric nurse that suffered traumatic
420.
brain injury, and she's going to share her story. She's been on our podcast before. And
Right.
Mark and I do a Wellness Wednesday segment, which is really great. So our
Canna
segment tomorrow
talk.
morning, yes, is Canna
Uh-huh.
Talk. So Wednesday afternoon, 4:20 in the Weeds Prohibition Talk Radio. And then tomorrow night, Mark and I also have a show where we are going to be interviewing another rocking cannabis nurse in the cannabis space, Colleen Graham. So join us Wednesday night. And then Friday morning, we are doing Frequency Fridays every morning.
Love
Denise
it.
Costello, Carrie Lee, Michelle Morris. We really want to
Mhm.
get those good vibes out. Reiki, Reconnective Healing, and Healy. So join us at these various times so we can help continue to provide you with education on various progressive tools and things that can help
Yes.
upregulate, nourish your endocannabinoid system so you can live your best life.
Live the best life, and that's it. Yeah. So today, listen. Whoa. Wait. I gotta hear it. I gotta hear what you always say. If you or someone
I know.
you know and love.
If you or someone you love, is suffering from chronic illness or
Mm.
chronic disease or chronic pain.
Mhm.
Interesting enough, too, the other thing that we love to do is we found as we educate on medicinal cannabis, it kind of transfers over into wellness. So if you're interested in learning how to incorporate cannabis into your daily life as a wellness tool, preventative health and wellness tool,
Mhm.
or you're new to cannabis and you're curious about having an adult use experience, we're the ones for you. We can teach you. We will educate
Yeah.
and empower you to choose products that are best for
Mhm.
you and what you need. So
Right.
we're here to relieve suffering, improve quality of life, and we will hold your hand until you're ready to let go. So visit us at www.thegreennurse.com.
All right. Y'all who are hanging out there, who stopped by in the morning, thank you. Good to see you all. And listen, I'm going to ask you, spread the word. You're all in the know. We want you all to join us at the Green Nurse community. Come on, we're on this together. We are on this together, and we're bringing healing to the world. whether it's cannabinoid medicine, energy healing, breath work, which I'm going to do when I get done here. Listen, all of the different modalities that help someone live a happy, joyous, healthy life. We're all about that. And we need you to be a part of the community. Join us, www.thegreennurse.com. And so, Sherry, AFA Day, focus today.
Focus.
No anxiety, all good. That's it.
All
I'm
good.
going to have the best day because this is the only February 23rd, 2021 I get. May sound hokey, but it's the damn truth. It's the only one you get.
Make
So
it count.
I'm going to make it the best day ever. And I'm hoping
too.
you do too, because what's it all about, Sherry?
It's about living your best life.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Happy Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow.